Double deuces. I am happy today. What is up, everybody? This is Francis from PE Nintendo and PlayerEssence.com, and I have a bunch of fantastic news to share with you guys. Hyrule Warriors. OMG, that game is looking hot. I had to schedule a live stream. I was going to wait till this weekend or do a Player Essence Cross Nintendo, but I was like, you know what? I'm done with all my exams at work. Okay, so just to let you guys know, I finished all my training exams. I'm done with that, so I don't got to worry about that anymore. So I'll be a little bit more, maybe I can schedule a couple more live streams in my last week of training here. So I'm done with my exams. No more stress, no more studying when that goes. I passed all of them. Only I took like 9 exams and I only missed one. I only missed one question on one of them. So got all my studying done, got all that. So I'm good there, so maybe I can get back to maybe doing some more videos and stuff because I'm about to get into the field and actually start working. So we might start returning to a normal schedule without all the live streams and me actually doing recorded stuff. So look forward to that. But that is not what we're talking about today. We are talking about Hyrule Warriors and how awesome it is, and just basically a bunch of news that I've compiled over the past week or two, and especially this week with Auntie doing a great job on the site, updating and bringing some new information on Hyrule Warriors, some new screenshots. And remember, if you guys have questions, I'm going to be taking questions on Hyrule Warriors. Use the Q&A app. I think it's you can find it if you hit if on the screen. It should be put to the bottom left that says join the discussion. Ask questions live. You should see it right there to the left of your screen in the bottom left-hand corner. If you can't see that there, make sure you check out the description, and you should see a link to the event page, and hopefully you can find the Q&A app to where you can ask questions there. If not, I will be sifting through the comments while the live stream is going on, so you guys can definitely ask your questions there, because I know it takes a little bit of time before everybody realizes that I'm live streaming sometimes. I get a lot of people to join later, so that's why these end up being a little bit longer than usual, because I see people are joining, and I want to have some type of content for the people who came in, when they join in the middle of the stream. I don't want them to join in and they don't see anything, so that's why some of these tend to go a little long. But anyway, let's get to it. So first, we're going to get all of the financial stuff out of the way. So first, we're going to talk about just financial stuff that I've heard, good financial stuff. So the first thing is Tecmo Koei says that they want to sell 1 million units of Hyrule Warriors on the Wii U. And you know what? A lot of people were saying, I don't know, Hyrule Warriors isn't such a big. It's like Zelda isn't so big in Japan, and the Dynasty Warriors franchise isn't big here in America. Can they do it? But what I'm going to get to next is actually thinking it might just get there. And it might just get there in Japan alone. Who knows? But they want to sell 1 million units, and I can understand that. They definitely want to get a lot of units out there. Zelda's a really popular franchise. Dynasty Warriors is a really popular franchise, so 1 million units seems like a good target for that type of game. And not only that, there's been a lot of other games that have already sold 1 million units. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD, which is just a remake, not a new game, sold 1 million units. Wii Party U has sold 1 million units. New Super Mario Bros., Super Luigi U have all sold 1 million units. Lego City Undercover is pretty much, if you count in digital, that game's probably over 1 million units. So there's been quite a number of games. Super Mario 3D World is over 1 million units. So there's been a number of games that have gotten up there and have gotten near, despite the Wii U's lower install base for the time that it's been out on the market. So I definitely think they can get there. Now, here's the good news and why pretty much it looks to be already a hit as far as in Japan. I think Tecmo Koei did a great job. They did a fantastic job of making 3 different sets of this. You can basically get, and let me make sure that I'm reading this off correctly because I do not want to mess this one up. So you can basically get 3 different versions of Hyrule Warriors in Japan, and if you count the digital version, you can actually get another one. So you can get the Zelda. It's called Zelda Musou in Japan because that's what the Warriors games are called, is Musou. So it's Zelda Musou in Japan, and you can get the Treasure Box edition, and this is the premium. This is the creme de la creme, the top of the line. And you get the game, of course, Hyrule Warriors. You get an official book. You get a Triforce tablecloth. You get the pre-order bonus. You get 3 costume sets. three different costumes. You get a Force costume set, which is two costumes. You actually get Link's scarf that he wears in the game, and you get a treasure box with sound. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So like a treasure box you open up. I think they kind of have that in Europe or something where there's like a little treasure box. You open it up and there's sound for a different Zelda game. I think it was Wind Waker HD. Yeah, some type of treasure box if you pre-order it or it comes with the collector's edition or whatever that came there. But anyway, awesome. Awesome. And check this out, guys. On Amazon Japan, they just announced that. Amazon Japan, that is the #1 game as far as pre-orders go. Amazon Japan, bam, already #1. And that's the most expensive one. That one's going to cost you over 14,000 yen. It's not. That's 100 and something bucks, guys. That's not cheap. Okay, leapfrogged Infamous Second Son, leapfrogged in Japan. It leapfrogged Persona Q, leapfrogged Mario Kart. Bam, #1 title. Now that was #1. Now number 5 on the list of Amazon's top 10 was Zelda Musou, just basically the game, and that was a 7,900 yen. And that's going to get you just the game. That was number 5, guys. That was number 5 on the list. Next was Zelda Musou, the premium box, okay? And that was number 8. So right there you have 3 of the versions of Hyrule Warriors in the top 10. That's good. That is good for Nintendo. That is good for Tecmo Koei. That's good for Team Ninja, which we've now learned that Team Ninja is also helping develop the game. So that one is the premium one is 11,000 yen, a little bit over 11,500 yen, and that one's going to get you the game, the official book, and the Triforce table clock. Once again, great, but I would get that premium edition. I hope that premium edition comes to North America and Europe. I really want that Link scarf. I really want that scarf. I don't know how, I really want that scarf. So hopefully it does, and I'll take the extra costumes and stuff like that. That sounds like a good idea. So yeah. They wanted to sell 1 million units, and I think that they're already well on their way with these Amazon sales numbers. Usually in Amazon Japan, when you do pretty good on there, you're going to have some pretty good sales numbers. So I really like the fact that it's already off to a great start right there. Sales aren't everything, but then again, guys, if the more of these collaborations are successful and these ones sell, the more great collaborations they can make. Maybe they do a collaboration on Star Fox, or maybe they do a collaboration on Metroid, or maybe they do different collaborations that out there. So the more Nintendo sees success in these type of games, the more that we'll get these quality titles. So I'm really, really excited, and I'm happy that it's doing well on Amazon. Okay, so that is all the financial news I'll be talking about, all the sales stuff I'll be talking about. I'm done with that. We are going to move on to the next thing with Hyrule Warriors here. Man, this is such an exciting topic, guys. I'm really thrilled to be talking about this with you guys. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the gameplay details on this game. Now, there hasn't been online play confirmed. This was basically something that was kind of a hot topic on PlayerEssence.com. No online play is confirmed as of yet, but from what I understand from the Samurai Warriors and the Dynasty Warriors games, a lot of them do have co-op. Even the one that's on Wii U does have online co-op. So hopefully we get that in this game. We don't know for sure, but what we do know is that there's going to be a 2-player game mode where somebody can use the gamepad and have their own screen, and somebody can also use the controller. And from what I understand, even on that feature is on the Wii U version of the Samurai Warriors game that came out, and it runs pretty good. It still runs pretty fast, 60 frames per second, and it's a good quality. So hopefully they even up it for this one. Some couch co-op play is always great. That's something that I can tackle with my brother when he comes to visits for holidays and stuff. But I would really like for that to be online, because I think that's something that online play would be great. But we do have a confirmation of a multiplayer mode, which is good. And not only that, but we do have confirmation of multiple playable characters, which we already you can kind of hint of if you looked at some of the gameplay analysis that like Game Explained did. You can see different characters were in there and stuff. But what's really cool about this game, which I'll get to at the very end as far as why it's the game that I've been looking for, is just the details on combat. So we're going to go over some of the stuff with Link. Link is basically a quick character. He uses Z targeting. So Z targeting is going to be a mechanic that is in this game, and that is, of course, course, a brand new mechanic to the Warriors game, and it was a staple, and is a staple of the Zelda games ever since basically the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So the Z targeting is there, and that's kind of what's going to make it unique to Zelda and make it a Zelda game, in my opinion. A lot of people were saying that this game is just going to be a warrior. Oh, it's just Zelda Dynasty Warriors. No, not with Z targeting, not with all these cool stuff, and the story too. The story is definitely it's very mature. It seems like it's grown up a bit, so I'm really looking forward to that. But the really cool thing about Link, which he can use multiple weapons, but he really focuses where his bread and butter is really on using short swords, really quick attacks, messing with his opponents with the Z targeting. Of course, his mobility is going to play a part into it, and it's just like any Dynasty Warriors games, you're going to be doing tons of hacking and slashing. But what's going to be really cool about this game, which what I'm excited for, is the fact that there's going to be a progression system. There's going to be leveling. There's going to be different weapons. You're going to be able to unlock abilities. And like I said, that's what I've always wanted in a Zelda game. I've always wanted that sense of progression, and we're finally getting it. But we're also going to move on to Impa, which she was announced as a playable character, and she is one of the elite guard that basically protects the princess and the royal family. She uses a longsword, but she's also probably more of a powerhouse than Link as far as power goes, and she's very quick with movements, and she has basically she can use multiple weapons too, but she also has a really big sword that she can use. So it looks like she's going to be able to dish out nice powerful attacks as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to read over some of the character descriptions here, just so you guys can get a feel of not only more of Link and what his backstory is, but Impa and some of the enemies in this game as far as main villains. So I'm going to go ahead and read off links here. So here's the translations, and this was provided by Streets Ahead from, I think, the GAF, NeoGAF. Let me make sure. Yes, from NeoGAF. So you can also find links to what I'm talking about in the description. If it's not on the event page, it should be on the description. You'll find links to some of this stuff on playeressence.com, so you can read up on that yourself. So let's go ahead and let's talk about Link, the hero. And this was basically translated from, I think it had to have came from Famitsu or the official website, which is also up on playeressence.com. You can check out the links to the official website. All right. Link is an exceptionally strong soldier in the Royal Army of Hyrule. The power of the Triforce of Courage hides within him. He's a kind individual who can speak with fairies. That's interesting on its own right. And he has a strong sense of justice that makes him firmly stand his ground against evil, even if they are stronger than he is. He mostly uses his nimble battle style that relies on footwork to mess with his opponents. In this game, he can make use of various weapons, but his main weapon will always be a speed-type sword. Great, Link's that type of guy. Next, we're going to talk about Impa. She's the commanding officer of the Hyrule Imperial Guard. Impa is a commanding officer of course, once again, of the Hyrule Imperial Guard. She is the attendant and vassal of the Princess Zelda, leader of the family charged with supporting Hyrule's royal family from the shadows. She cares not for herself and works exhaustively for the family and for the princess. Starting from pulling out her longsword backhanded, she disposes of her enemies with exact precision in quick, furious succession. She is a sword master with precise movements and footwork. That's great. And they've already hinted that there's going to be there's going to be more. It's not just these two. So you're going to have other playable characters. So that's going to be very interesting. But these are the two descriptions that they have here. So we're going to move on to the enemies now here. And this is where I talk about the story becoming a little bit more mature. Something that I'm really interested in is Shia, the Black Witch. She's an evil witch who had her good soul chased out of her by dark forces. She has a strong sense of clarity. She has a strong sense of self and clearly states her desires, and a provocative and aggressive personality. She wants to make the whole world hers, but especially she wants to make Link hers. So, I mean, I think a lot of people were upset with how she's dressed with that, but if you see her type of personality, especially after what happened to her, you can see why she has her outfit the way she does and why she's designed the way she does with her enlarged body parts there. But, I mean, look, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. I think that it really plays into the story and what they're trying to pull off with this, especially she's trying to be provocative. She's trying to be flirtatious, probably with Link. So I think that's the reason why she's like that. And as you can see, Impa is completely different. So I think that there's a good balance, and I think it makes sense for the type of story that they're going for and their background and their character. So I don't think there should be any controversy or anything in the lines of that. Next is Wizarro or Wizro. Actually, Wizro would probably be it. He's the dark sorcerer, and he's the type of Poe type looking guy. And basically, his backstory is a ring that increased in power over many centuries by luring numerous owners and absorbing their powers. Wizro was reborn as a sorcerer with Shia's dark magic. It has privileged allegiance to Shia, who is effectively its mother. However, it has a tendency to follow those in power thanks to its main experiences. Wizro will attack with magic pulses like bullets or magic from up above. Very interesting on this character. I'm really looking forward to doing combat with him, especially with the multiple playable characters that we have. Now, this is the Valga. He's like the fiery type looking guy that we saw, the mage looking. And Valga is a close associate of Shia's. He traded his good soul for incredible strength in a deal with her. Differing from Wizro, Valga will face you head on like a true soldier, believing he can win. He looks for strong opponents and heats up any battle he is in. So that's a fire that we're talking about. And he uses a lance, reminiscent of a dragon's claw, and a bellowing war cry that will come at you with heavy blows repeatedly. So, I mean, really, really awesome, guys. Really awesome. Great information on the characters. And I'm already more interested in this game than I've been in lots of other Zelda games. And like I said, this is the Zelda game I've been waiting for, and I'm really so excited to see more of this game, and we've already seen a lot of it, but I'm excited to even see more. But what I want to get to before I get into the nitty-gritty and I answer some of you guys' questions, because I can see here, yeah, the questions are starting to line up. So before I get into that, and I don't want to make this too long, because a lot of people are complaining about 2 hours in length or an hour and a half. So I'll go ahead and just do my spiel and get into questions so we can wrap this up timely, and so people who joined in later can also watch the replay in a timely fashion. So the graphics and the character descriptions. Obviously, we went over the character descriptions, but the graphics, guys. This is what I love about Nintendo. When Nintendo, and Terminator Juice talked about this, when Nintendo first shows off the game, it's in development. They don't show you CGI stuff all the time. They don't show you different bull shots or weird pictures that aren't really on a supercomputer. They show you the game. So if it's CGI, it's clearly stated that it's CGI, and then they show you gameplay to what it actually looks like it's gameplay. And Iwata has even said, oh, well, here's now gameplay. And he actually did that with Bayonetta. I remember they showed a trailer for Bayonetta. I think it was at the E3 Direct, and then he said, okay, well, here's gameplay. So it clearly shows you when it's not gameplay and when it is gameplay. And a lot of people are like, oh, the game doesn't look that good, but I already knew based off of Super Mario 3D World that this was going to happen again. It's in development. They're just showing you the beginning of the game. It's going to look better. And a lot of people saw the screenshots and have been really impressed with not only the level of detail in Link, but the artistic style. And remember, guys, the details as far as what we see in the background and all that, maybe that isn't as great as some other games out there, but it's still improved. If you look at the screenshots of the before and after, which we do have some of those on playeressence.com, comparison screenshots, you'll see it there if you look up Hyrule Warriors. You'll see not only how is the ground more detailed and the draw distance is better, but the detail on the characters is completely better. The shadowing, the lighting, everything is better, and you can see in the direct comparison screenshots, everything just looks better, and Nintendo makes their games look better as they go on. Whereas in some other games, you see the first, shots and like, oh yeah, this is gameplay, and then you see the reveal later on, and like, wait a minute, that doesn't look as good as the first reveal. Nintendo's games tend to look better as the time goes on. Like, same thing happened with Super Mario 3D World, so. And even with Bayonetta, the game looks better, when you first saw the game compared to when it is at this point, when they showed it at the Direct. Same thing with Monolith Soft's X, looks better. They always get progressively better and better and better. So I'm really, really impressed with the graphics. And we all know it's a Warriors game, so it's going to run in 60 frames per second, and there's tons of enemies on screen. So I think for the level of detail, it looks better than any Warriors game that I've seen. For the level of detail that they have, for the amount that's going on, for the amount of effects and everything, I think it's very impressive, and it shows that the Wii U has plenty of power, not only to make games look great, but to have great playing games. And I think that's what I like to see in games. That's what I like to see when I play a game, or when I'm looking at a game. I like to see, does it okay, first of all, does it look good? Not, is it the most graphically crazy game? Not, does it look better than Killzone Shadowfall? Just clearly this. Does it look good? If it looks good, great. It doesn't have to look better than Killzone Shadowfall or any of those other games. Just, does it look good? Great. Does it look like it plays good? Does it play fast? It does. Hyrule Warriors looks like it plays fast. Is there depth? Can they clearly show us that there's going to be multiple things in the trailer? We saw that. We saw different special moves. We saw basically different enemies that we can play as. We saw the treasure box where he's getting different items. We saw the bombs. So yeah, there's going to be depth. Plus we got new details that there's going to be leveling progression. Great. So that's what I like to look at. I like to look at, does it look good? Does it play fast? You know what I'm saying? Is there depth? Did they show us that there's depth in the combat? And they did. They showed us the multiple different weapons and stuff like that. So that's what I like to see in games. When they can show off a trailer, and they actually did that in the first trailer. They showed, that's why I was excited for this game. They showed that the depth was going to be there. The looks weren't quite there. I think it looked okay, but I knew it was going to get better. I knew it was going to get better. So the looks quite weren't there. But now with the re-reveal of the screenshots and everything, the looks are there, the gameplay is there, the depth is there, the multiple characters, plus there's DLC in there, and you already know there's Warriors games always have tons of content in there, so you know there's going to be some good stuff as far as what they add. They teased multiple stages in different areas of Hyrule and the castle. Everything just looks really good, and I'm like super excited for this game. And the reason why this is the game that I've been waiting for, this game, is because I've talked about this in previous live streams. Maybe some of you guys didn't see it, but I've always wanted a Zelda game where you play as Link, you level up, you can use different weapons. You're not always using just the Master Sword, you know, using different weapons, multiple playable characters. Maybe you have a party, or maybe you can play with somebody else, you know, and just tear people up and actually have a combat-focused Zelda game. You know, and it seems like the Zelda games, they pick and choose. It seems like if you pick apart one Zelda game and say, okay, I want that, okay, I want this from this Zelda game, I want this from this Zelda game, I want this from this Zelda game, and you put it together, then you can get what I wanted in a Zelda game. So for instance, like the multiple weapons that you can use in Wind Waker, how you can pick up enemy weapons and stuff like that. And you have like the master abilities in Twilight Princess, you know, where you can pick up that. And then you have, like, let's say, for what else? Maybe some of the different types of weapons you can use in also in Twilight Princess or in Ocarina of Time. You're just picking and choosing from different things, and it looks like this Zelda game is going to have some of the best elements as far as, you know, just from the Zelda games focusing on combat. It has the Z targeting. It's going to have multiple weapons, you know, the fire rod. It's going to have different stuff. It's really combat focused and leveling and progression, and that's what I've always wanted in a Zelda game. And I know this isn't the main Zelda game. I'm not trying to say this is a replacement for the big Zelda games. I know a lot of you guys are interested in that. I know a lot of you guys kind of like the puzzle stuff, and you know, trust me, I'm waiting for that too. But I can only hope that they do take a couple of cues from this one, as far as maybe making some light leveling and some being able to use different weapons and stuff like that, because I think that stuff's going to be really fun. And from what we've seen from the trailer, that the gameplay just looks fun. It just looks awesome to be tearing these people up and to be getting new weapons and to have these huge areas and to have these boss fights. You know, I think, and I don't think it's going to be gimmicky boss fights, because not that the Zelda boss fights are like super gimmicky, not all of them, but it always seems like it has that structure. You know, like you go into the dungeon, you grab the weapon, like you grab the weapon that's going to help you, the boomerang or the hook shot, or like the little, that was that little pin from Twilight Princess, that little top that you spin off of, stuff that you're really not going to use much other than when they say, okay, here's where you use it. It looks like in Hyrule Warriors you're going to have a whole cast of weapons, and you're going to be able to pick and choose your strategies as far as what you want to do. You're going to be able to use different things. And not only that, but the bombs aren't just going to be bombs. They've also hinted that the bombs are going to be very special in how they use them. So it might factor in, you know, using bombs as a way to effectively dispose of enemies other than just, you know, like in the Zelda game, usually just use bombs to, you know, sometimes throw it inside an enemy's mouth and, like, you know, they blow up, or to find the area. I mean, it looks like bombs can be used as a really cool way to combat enemies, you know. So I'm really excited for basically all of this stuff, and like I said, I can't stress to you guys how awesome this is going to be. And, you know, with Nintendo pulling up these games here. I mean, with what I'm doing and with my job and with all my responsibilities as a father and stuff like that, I don't even have the time to play all the games Nintendo has, let alone whatever other games are coming out like PS4, Xbox One, PS3, Xbox 360. I barely have the time. So as long as Nintendo can provide me a great game to play every month and a half, man, who knows when I'll be able to buy a PS4, even have the time to do it. I doubt it. Probably when I get real comfortable with my job. And I mean, I know a lot of you guys have been expressing concern about how much money, you guys are going to have to spend on all of these games. But yeah, super, super excited. So that basically wraps it up for what I want to say, make it a cool about 30 minutes here. And let's go, and we're going to get to user questions. And remember, use the Q&A app. If you check out the description below, or if you look right on the screen in the bottom left-hand corner, it should say join the discussion. Hit that link, and that'll take you over to where you can ask some questions, or you can go to the description and check out the event page. That should take you over to where you can find some questions to where I'll be able to answer that. So let's go and let's get right to these, because I know there's a lot of them here. Okay, so this is from my boy, Josh Harden. Remember, all you guys are my boys, or my girl if you're a female. All of you guys are my friends, but, guys that have been with the long time. I say my boy. So anyway, so Josh writes, or asks, say Hyrule Warriors is successful and Nintendo and Tecmo does another collaboration. Which franchise would you want to see used? I would love to see either Mario or something like Smash Bros. Using many Nintendo IPs. That's a great question. That is a very good question. I like how you phrased it. And remember, when you guys ask questions, feel free to chime in what you guys want to, because I definitely want to hear feedback from what you guys have to say too. It's always fun to read off that. Great question, Josh. So let me go ahead and answer that. If I could see another collaboration, I would really, really, really like to see possibly a Golden Sun with Bravely Default or something along the lines of that. So yeah, I would like to see a collaboration of Golden Sun with Dragon Quest, or Golden Sun with something, because I think Golden Sun by itself might not be strong enough, but if you pair that with another game, I think the Golden Sun cross something, which I've talked about before, could be a very good title. Nintendo has so many IPs that they can use, but I think Golden Sun would be a great game. Or let another developer take hold of Golden Sun. Let Square Enix maybe have Golden Sun and see what they can do. I would really like a Golden Sun and Bravely Default, or a Golden Sun and Dragon Quest. I think that would be a great collaboration between those ones. Yeah, but I like your idea as well. With Mario, I don't know. With Mario, I'm not sure if I want a third part, just because I'm a little worried about controls with a Mario game. It would have to be a pretty major scale collaboration, because I just want the controls to be perfect. Because I don't play Mario games for the story or graphics or anything. I play Mario games because it controls like a dream. Every single Mario game that I know of just controls, like every single main Mario platformer controls like a dream. And I would just want to make sure that if they do a collaboration, that the main focus is with Nintendo's side, and they have some of their guys there to make sure that the controls are great. Because this collaboration between Nintendo and Tecmo, it's really Tecmo. There's really not a lot of Nintendo staffers working on this game. This is really Nintendo team. This is Team Ninja and I think W-Force or whatever that company is with Tecmo, and Nintendo's Edge and Newman's just supervising things, making sure the project is going well. So yeah. So that's basically that's that. So I think I spent way too much time on that question, but thank you. Let's go. We're going to go to the next one. This comes from, oh man, I don't know if I'll be able to say this name here. Lesser Hisei Ryu. I think I'm just going to call you L Ryu from now on. Nintendo has like 125 IPs, I think. Yeah, they have a ton of IPs. That's definitely more of a statement than a question, but hey, I'll take statements too. If you guys have something you want to chime in with, definitely be my guest. And it seems like I don't have too many here, so if you guys want to answer, if you guys want to put some more statements, or what you guys just want to get your opinion out, definitely put them there. Use the Q&A app, please. This comes from Michael Kelly. Do you think they will take the progression system you mentioned in Hyrule Warriors and integrate it into the next mainline Zelda game? I don't think if they do, I don't think it'll be the same progression system, because the Warriors games already have a progression system themselves. I think it's going to be unique, but it's going to definitely be an offshoot of the Warriors games. The one thing that I don't want to see, because some of the Warriors games have like 70-something characters, and they end up all feeling samey, the one thing that I don't want to see is like this Hyrule Warriors having like 70 characters. I don't even know if they have enough characters to do that. I just want to see maybe a good staple, maybe 4 to 5 characters, maybe a DLC DLC character here or there down the line, and have them feel unique to themselves, you know. And with the progression system, I want the progression system not just to be one mainline progression system, and I want it to be unique to each character. So each character has their own unique progression system. But I think that they will take a progression system, some light RPG elements, because Skyward Sword did have that, but I think they need to go a little bit more in depth in that, because Skyward Sword's RPG elements were weak, in my opinion. I don't think they were very good, and I think that they can definitely take it a little bit further. So yeah, I can see them using, maybe Eiji Aonuma picks up a couple things here and there, but I think he has something in mind that he wants to do for the Legend of Zelda for Wii U, the next Wii U Legend of Zelda, big one, for what he wants to do with that. So good question. And he's talking about his name being pronounced a certain way. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to call you Ryu, dude. I'm sorry. So I'm going to do that. So here's the next question. The Magnum 924. Do you think there will be any DLC to add in actual Dynasty Warriors characters into the game? That's actually a very good question. Yeah, I think there could be a little crossover DLC once the game's released, maybe end game content. That could also be unlockable. I think after you beat the game, you probably could unlock some Dynasty Warriors character from the last game, or from the Wii U version, the launch title that came out. So yeah, I definitely think that's going to be a character, but I don't think there'll be DLC. I think it'll be a character that you unlock after you beat the game. That's what I think. Good question. Okay, he's still talking about how you pronounce his name. Dude, I'm just calling you Ryu, man. I'm sorry. That's just what it's going to be. I can't say all that, man. I'm sorry. My brain's already fried from exams. Just to give you guys a little insight, okay? My job that I do, I mean, I'm dealing with patients with COPD. I'm dealing with patients with hypertension, hypervolemia. I'm dealing with patients with all sorts of medical conditions, whether it's chronic depression, whether it's all sorts of stuff. So I have to learn all sorts of big long terms already, and also different types of medication, and all sorts of insulin and diabetes, type 1, type 2, and all sorts of other stuff. So my brain's already fried from long names and medications. So that's the reason why I'm not really looking forward to pronouncing a lot of names here. I already got to do that at work, so cut me just a little bit of slack here. All right, so the next question comes from, I think this person's new. I'm not sure if I've heard from this person. Macro Shimano. That's maybe it. Macro, or maybe Shimano. Maybe I'll just abbreviate. I'm sorry, I'm horrible with names. Do you think Monolith Soft will reveal an RPG for the Nintendo 3DS along with X for the Wii U? Yeah, you know what? They are working on an RPG. That could be the mystery RPG. A lot of people are speculating that it's the a Zelda game, or sorry, not a Zelda game. It's a Metroid game for the 3DS, as far as Nintendo's secret 3DS game that they have a developer direct plan for. But you know what? It could be the 3DS game that Monolith Soft is working on, because they are officially working on another game. So yeah, you're right. I think that we could see something like that, or we could see both of the Metroid game and the Monolith games at E3. Maybe it's even a 3DS version of Xenoblade Chronicles. Who knows what it is? Maybe it could be a brand new game. But yeah, I think we're going to see that sometime soon, if not at E3, at the Tokyo Game Show for sure. Good question. All right. Next one comes from the Magnum 924 again. What characters do you want to see playable in Hyrule Warriors? I personally want to play as Ganondorf, Zelda, Sheik, and, oh man, that Garilham or whatever. I can't say that name, I'm sorry. Just to name a few. Personally, me, I don't really have any characters in particular that I want to play as. I would just like to play as Sheik. I would like, yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I'm not sure if I want to play as Ganondorf. I guess that would be kind of be cool. But I would just like to play as Link. I think Impa, whoever they put in there, I'll be happy with. I'm more concerned with just like the setting and just playing as Link and playing as Impa. I'm just more concerned with whoever they reveal and whatever they show on that character. I'm excited. I don't have any characters that I specifically want to play as or anything like that. But yeah, I'm just very interested in playing the game, and I just think the controls and the gameplay and the graphics look great. So I'm just excited overall. But yeah, I can see how you want to play as those characters. That'd be really cool. And you know, it's looking like this game is more of a coming from the Skyward Sword realm. So definitely, you might get those characters. All right. Next comes from Ryu. Shin Megami Tensei Cross Fire Emblem. What game do you think it's going to be? Strategy RPG-ish, turn-based-ish game. That's what I think. I don't know. E3 needs to come here soon. Let me see here what he says. Okay. He says Zelda is actually pretty big in Japan still. The series does 800 plus K over there. Well, I don't know. Like, what are you talking about? Like 800 plus K. The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD didn't do 800 plus K there. I know the Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. That one sold okay, but I don't think it didn't get up to 800K there. The games there, Zelda, it's popular, but it's not. I wouldn't say it's like really big there, especially with Wind Waker HD. I know that was a remake, but the Zelda games aren't. They're big. I mean, it's a big game there, but it's not as huge as it is here in North America and in parts of Europe. It's not the same type. Now, Zelda or Hyrule Warriors, I think that's going to be one of the biggest games, like one of the biggest games, to release. I think that's going to be maybe even one of the best-selling Zelda games in Japan ever, maybe possibly. I know some of the older Ocarina of Time and stuff like that sold pretty good in Japan and stuff, but as far as recent games go, Skyward Sword didn't do much in Japan. So yeah, I think this game has a chance to really ignite the Zelda flames, and especially ignite Wii U sales as well. Because I mean, if you look at it, the PS4 and Xbox One really aren't offering much for Japan, and I know there's still Tokyo Game Show and they do have some stuff planned, but Nintendo has Mario Kart, Nintendo has Zelda, Nintendo has the Hyrule Warriors, of course, Nintendo has Monolith Soft's X, Nintendo has a lot of great Japanese games upcoming, so I think this is going to be really big for Japan. All right. This one comes from Dien Dong, and he or she asks, the Zelda series already appeals to female audiences. Yes, it does. Do you think Nintendo can capture more of that audience and get new fans interested if they market the Hyrule Warriors story between the relationships of Link, Shia, and Zelda? Yeah, I think they will. And I think that's something that they're really going to market in Japan. I think they're really going to try to get a bigger female audience to play the game. And I think that's the right way to go, especially with this whole relationship thing that's going on and stuff like that, having a more mature storyline. What I realized with female gamers is that female gamers are far more mature than male gamers as far as story goes, and they like far more complex stories. From what I've seen, and that's not every single gamer out there, and that's not. I'm not trying to blanket everything or make super broad generalizations, but just from what I've seen, I know like Heavy Rain had a high population of female users that really like that game, and so I think if they can make the story a lot more complex and kind of market that, they can definitely capture a lot of female gamers, and female gamers already love the Zelda franchise as it is, so I think it's only a win-win situation. And the more female gamers that we bring in, and us as gamers start just, I mean, not even really just separating them as female gamers and male gamers. I just think as gamers in general of both sexes, I think that's just great. That's just great for gaming in general. So I'm all for it. I'm all for more women getting into gaming and all that, and I hope it does. I hope you're right, and I hope it does bring in more female gamers, because I think that's what the gaming industry needs. Because you go online and you hear all this stuff and you see these message boards, and it's just junk against when you're considered a minority in the gaming sector. I mean, I deal with that myself. I mean, being black, that's already racism or discrimination and issues that come up there, which I don't want to talk about too much. That's not what this channel's about, but I deal with that too. So that's why I often mute the mics when I play games. But yeah, hopefully it does do that, and it captures more, because that'll be great. All right. Next is another question from Josh. Do you believe Team Ninja can redeem themselves with Nintendo fans who still hold a grudge for Other M? Yeah, I think that they can. Really, Other M, I don't really think that was Team Ninja's fault for Other M. You have to remember Sakamoto. He was overseeing the story and stuff like that. So I'm not really sure if it was Team Ninja that even did it that way. I don't think you can blame Team Ninja. For the most part, Other M's controls and Other M's game was actually pretty good. It wasn't horrible. So I'm not sure if you can blame Team Ninja fully for that. But yeah, I do think in general, I do think that Team Ninja will redeem themselves. And you have to remember, who do you trust more, Sakamoto or Eiji Aonuma? Eiji Aonuma is overseeing this project, so I don't think Eiji Aonuma is going to let them mess this one up, or even attempt to mess this one up. I think this game is going well, and as you can see from just from the story, what they've showed us, the screenshots, the gameplay, I think things are going in the right direction with this game. So I think Team Ninja will redeem themselves, and I think that there's nothing for you to worry about. All right, next question comes from Teddy Trickster, who has an awesome name. What chances does Impa have to be playable in Smash Bros. 4? I would say little to none. Impa, I just don't think. If anything, they'd have the Gorilla Hem dude or the main villain in Skyward Sword, I think, over Impa, or they would have. I just don't think that it would be Impa would be in there. I think that they maybe making Ganondorf more unique from Captain Falcon, that might be more of a priority than getting Impa in there. So I don't think there's a high chance. Although that'd be cool if she was in there, maybe as an assist trophy for sure. All right. Next comes from El Ryu. What kind of game do you think Oh, wait a minute. I think we already answered that. Yeah, we did talk about it being a crossover style from Valkyria Chronicles. I've talked about that before. That's what I think that would be a good way. Turn-based strategy RPG, kind of mixed and blended in there. I have no idea. I mean, like I said, this game is being developed by the mad scientists at Intelligent Systems. And when I say mad scientists, I mean gameplay scientists over there at Intelligent Systems and at Atlas, so I have no clue, but hopefully it is some type of good crossover formula that works well. All right. Okay, he's just putting some links there, so we're just going to skip past that, and then we have another one from him here, a question. What are you looking forward to most about characters and their playstyles? Who do you want to be playable? Okay, I kind of already touched upon that, but I'll touch upon it again. I'm really looking forward to just playing as Link, and just basically just trying out all the different weapons. I love how they talked about how there's going to be different sword types and things along that nature. So I'm really looking forward to just playing as that, and just like the speed style. I've always been like a speed style type of guy, so just having that type of style be playable. I'm really looking forward to using the short swords, using the master sword, using Impa, using the Z targeting. And as far as characters playable, who knows? I just want to play the game. Honestly, I'm just dope. I'm just excited. I'm hyped, and I just think the game looks so dope. And I'm just ready to play some quality Nintendo games because it's been a while. We got Mario Kart coming out next week. We got Hyrule Warriors coming out August, maybe September. We've got One Piece Unlimited World Red, which looks great. So there's some great Wii U games to play, and that's really all I have time for. It's just to play. I don't have time to play all these other games coming on systems. I just have time to play some of the great Wii U games that are coming out. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to just playing the games, man. But yeah, great question. All right, next one comes from Dragon Ichi 26. What are your thoughts on PDP making a new controller for the Smash Bros. Wii U that is inspired for the GameCube controller? I did see that controller. It doesn't. I mean, people are saying it looks like a GameCube controller. That doesn't really look like a GameCube controller for the most part, from what I saw. It looks like more of a fight controller, but I don't see how it's GameCube inspired from the mock-up shots that they showed there. What are my thoughts? My thoughts are, I don't know. Where's my Pro controller? I think I have a Pro controller around here somewhere. Here it is. Let me reach over and grab it. I'll be using this. I'll just be using this. I don't think I need it. This is going to work just fine for Smash Bros. So I'll just be using this. It lasts 80 hours, and not only that, but that controller, it's wired to the Wii remote. I don't want to have a Wii remote, wired to, I don't want to have that. If it was wireless, maybe I'd be more excited, but it's not completely wireless. You have to plug it into your Wii remote. I don't feel like busting out Wii remotes when I play Smash Bros. I'll just use the controller that I bought, $50 for that controller, so I'll just use that one. Yeah, it's cool for the people who want it, though. All right, another question from Ryu. How do you feel about Anuma's comments about the changes to the Zelda franchise, that this relationship with Omega Force? Okay, yeah, that's the people who do it, Omega Force, and Team Ninja. What do you expect from the narrative? It seems like it takes place before or after Ocarina of Time, and the development is going well, it seems. I feel good about his comments. I think that they trust them, and I think that Aonuma said that he played One Piece, the One Piece game that was kind of like Dynasty Warriors, and he said that it worked well and it felt good. The controls did, and so I think I trust Aonuma, and I trust Team Ninja and Omega Force that they're not going to mess this one up. Obviously, they've made multiple special editions. They're trying to push this real hard. You can't sit here and say you want to sell 1 million units and not have a good game. It doesn't work like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't work like that anywhere. You need to, well, for some games it does, but Western style games you can sell on hype. But when it comes to Japan and selling games, like, yeah, you can sell on hype maybe the first day, but as soon as people see that that game's trash or that game's not good, they're going to stop buying it. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to buy it. So you can't sit here and sell this game on hype. You need to make a good game. Plain and simple. You need to make a good game. So I trust what Anuma said, and I think that there's good intentions behind what he said, and I trust that they're going to make a solid Zelda cross Dynasty Warriors game. As far as your next question goes, as far as the storyline and all that, I have no clue. People are speculating that it's Skyward Sword. I'm thinking maybe it's somewhere in that timeline. I'm not really sure though as far as that goes. And yeah, the development is going well. They said it's 70% complete. So you wrap it up the last few bits in this. You know, in this month from this point to August, and you ship that baby, get it out of North America. Wii U sales start rolling in, and even if it doesn't go like crazy, hey, it's still going to do better than it did last year. That's for sure. So I'm just excited to play games as a gamer, plain and simple. It's exciting. Really ignore the negativity and enjoy your games. That's what I say. All right. Next question. Okay. So I messed up the name. It's not Dragon Ichi. I thought there was an I in there because the text is pretty small when I'm looking at. I need to make sure that I just hover my mouse over you guys' names and make sure. Yeah, I thought there was an extra I in there. I'm sorry. It's Dragon Chi 26. I thought it was Dragon Ichi. I thought there was an I in there. I'm sorry about that. Dragon Chi 26. Okay. This next question. Oh, my boy, Su Ling. Or Su Lung, or it's Su Ling, I think. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Do you think that Hyrule Warriors will incorporate NFC and online play? NFC, no. Online play, yes. Because I've done some research along with other people, and we've seen that the Hyrule Warriors, or the Warriors games, a lot of them do have online multiplayer and co-op. Even the launch title that came out for the Wii U, Samurai Orochi Warriors, whatever, that one has online play for the Wii U at this point. So I think it would be a bit of a disappointment if it doesn't have online play. So I think it will incorporate that. Good question. All right, another question from Josh Harden. Do you believe Hyrule Warriors will inspire some elements for Zelda U? Yeah, I definitely think so. With Eiji Aonuma looking over, any good designer, if he's looking over another project, make sure that he takes the best things, and if he can implement it into a project that he's doing in the future, he's going to do that. If you remember, Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker HD, they said that they're implementing elements from that game into the next Zelda game. So yeah, any bit of experience that you can take, any bit of information that works well, and feedback from this game, especially like when the game comes out and you start hearing what people have to say about it, that's going to be vital, because any of the notes that Eiji Aonuma jots down, or any of the stuff that he sees, he's going to be like, okay, well, players like this, okay, players didn't like this, okay, well, players thought this was cool. So definitely, yeah, any good game designer does that. Shigeru Miyamoto is notorious for doing this, making sure, because Miyamoto oversees many games, and when he sees something that he likes in one game, he says, can we use that for a different game? You know, he's done that in many different games that he's oversaw. So that's something that all great game designers do. Obviously, you want to innovate and you want to bring new ideas, but you know, you want to bring ideas that if it works and it's good in one game, yeah, you definitely want to carry that over. You know, you definitely want to carry that over, because you don't want to miss out on good stuff. So yeah, I definitely think that there's going to be some stuff that they incorporate into Zelda U, which only benefits us as the gamers. All right, next one, Dragon Chi 26. Okay, he's talking about his name. Yeah, I got that right now, I think. So yeah, thank you for the reminder. I appreciate it. Here's another one, Dragon Chi 26. The one that they showed is not the one they are making, actually, or not being told. Not really sure where that comment comes from, but I guess. Next question comes from Mike Kelly. Let's see here. This game is sounding extremely good, mate. Can't wait to see more at E3. What are your thoughts on the multiplayer for Hyrule Warriors? Oh yeah, great question. Do you think there will be several different modes? You know what? I don't think there's going to be several different modes. What I think that they're going to do is you're going to have a campaign co-op that you can play through, where you can just go through as the game campaign, whether you have somebody else, and it's just going to drop you in there. What it's going to do is, like, when it's, I think I haven't played the multiplayer on Samurai the other games, so I don't know what other modes they have, but I think it's like when it goes to cutscenes, that'll just show Link or whatever. It's not going to show the extra character character, and you just basically wait for the cutscene to go. And then once you get dropped back into level, you're going to have your other character that you can use. I do think that there's going to be some type of scoring mechanic or some type of dual like loot collecting that you guys can do. I do think that there's going to be maybe stronger weapons or different stuff that you can do or benefits to playing multiplayer. So yeah, I definitely think that there's going to be some unique stuff when you do play multiplayer, but not like unique modes. I think it's going to be like a Borderlands type thing to where you don't get any like time trial mode or like this mode or like this mode or like dungeon crawling mode. You just basically get the campaign co-op. But you know what? One thing that I do see them doing is basically adding like like arena mode. Like I know Rise Son of Rome doesn't have campaign co-op, but it has like an arena mode where you go into arena and you fight enemies wave after wave, and you get different abilities and stuff as you go on. So I think something like that, which Borderlands actually does have, has some areas where you can go to incomplete challenges. Slaughterhouses or stuff like that, or like a horde mode. I think that's something that they could possibly add to the formula, you know, in there. So we'll see at E3. No, you're good as far as he says, my apologies, I have to do with the PD. No, it's okay. You guys can ask anything you want. He's talking about, sorry for saying that he's asking about the PDB controller. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with asking about that. Some people have been asking me about that on the website as well. So yeah, no problem. And you know what? I think, oh, no, got one more from Omega Metroid 93. And he has a comment saying, and a question, I recall Anuma saying that they'd mix up the Zelda formula for Zelda U. I think he said that this before as well, but let's assume they really do switch it up this time. What do you suppose that means for the next Zelda game? You know, that's a very good idea, or very good question, and that's a very good statement. Yes, Anuma did confirm that they are going to switch things up for the next Zelda game. He did say that with Skyward Sword, and what we got with Skyward Sword is the flying mechanic, and we got the kind of the leveling system and the upgrades that they did, even though it was kind of weak. What I really think that what they mean by switching this one up, I really think it could mean a light and a dark world. I think it also could mean more of a leveling and progression system, even maybe the first Zelda game where we actually have physical levels, like to where you level up, or maybe even weapons level up even more. I think that's definitely something what he means by switching it up. I do think that we are going to get more of an open world game. With the power of the Wii U, you need to take advantage of it. Let's start using those gigabytes, Nintendo. And I think we're going to get an open world game where you can actually go and freely take side quests, and not the gimmicky side quests where you're picking up pumpkins and stuff like that, which those are kind of novel and kind of funny here and there, or like helping the bars, or you know, stuff like that. But I mean like real good combat related side quests where it has you dungeoning and has you getting rewards for your hard work, like Skyrim. I think that's something that where he means like where it's going to switch things up. If they did that, that's going to be a huge boost. I think that might even be more of a boost for the Wii U than maybe even Mario Kart. So yeah, that's what I think it means. At least that's my hopes. All right, next question comes from Dien Dong. What do you think of the combat-focused Four Swords Adventures game by Capcom, similar to Monster Hunter, making use of online quests? I think that's cool. I'm not a huge fan of Monster Hunter or stuff like that, but I do like those type of games. I'm just not a huge fan, so I'm not huge on that. I really like I'll take a good co-op experience where you can go through co-op, and it's not just like slaying monsters. It's just like has like this nice story and stuff like that. I'll take that over the Monster Hunter style games. That's just my personal preference. Okay, I think I misunderstood. Dragon Chi is telling me that I misunderstood. Let me see here. He said, "LOL, you misunderstood what I'm getting at. Is that the controller you saw that you thought was the PDB controller looks nothing like the game controller is not in fact what it looks like. I don't get why they chose that to use the image." Oh, okay, great. Yeah, I'm glad I misunderstood that then. Okay, cool. Because I saw that image and I was like, that's what they're talking about. I've seen people use the image. I was like, that's the controller. I didn't really know. So thanks for telling me that. Now, if it's shaped like a game controller and if it's wireless, completely wireless, then I'll get it. If it's not, then I'm just going to use that. I don't want a controller that plugs into my Wii remote. I want a wireless GameCube controller that's like shaped like a GameCube one. If it's like that, then I'll completely get it. But if it's wired and goes into my Wii remote, I'm not gonna. I'll pass. So thanks for clearing that up. Definitely, I'm glad that I was wrong on that one. Another question from El Ryu. Are you going to play Hyrule Warriors at E3? You betcha. I think I'm going to definitely I'll have to try. If I don't play it at E3, I will poll people. I will get interviews with people, just gamers who play it. I will talk to Nintendo and get interviews. I will make sure to get plenty of footage. And while I might not physically play, because there probably will be a huge line for it, I will make sure that I can get the feel. I can get eyes on. I can say, okay, well, this is what they did. I can explain the mechanics, because watching a game, in person and seeing people play it and getting their impressions is completely different than just watching a trailer or anything like that. So if I can't play it myself, because if the line is too long, there's no way I can sit in line and wait to play that game, guys. I need to get you guys footage. I need to get you guys coverage. So I'll make sure to get a lot of footage on the game for you guys. Excuse me. Next question comes from Omega Metroid 93. Now that they've made Zelda into the warrior style game, what other genres of styles do you think could be a good fit for Zelda if they do something really different again in the future? To be honest, I don't really think. I think there's really only a couple styles that you can do that I would like to see. I don't want to see a platformer. I don't want to see like a racing game, obviously. I don't want to see. It's already basically an action game. It's already an action adventure. They're doing the warrior style. A full-blown RPG would be where I'd want it to go. I mean, like full-blown, like Final Fantasy style RPG. Really big backstory. Multiple characters like in your party. Single-player focused game, obviously, where even like an action RPG or maybe even a turn-based RPG or an like ATB gods like Chrono Trigger style RPG would probably be where I'd want it to go, or even Bravely Default style RPG. Where you can do multiple action sets in a turn and stuff like that. Even a combination of something along that lines would be where I would want to see it go next. I know a lot of you guys probably aren't thinking the same thing I am, but a full-blown RPG, because the Warriors games aren't really necessarily a full-blown RPGs. They're just basically action games with a high amount of with light RPG elements sprinkled in there. I would like to see a full-blown action RPG or a full-blown ATP Gauge RPG. That would be great in my opinion. All right. Next question from Su Ling again. Do you think they will incorporate asymmetrical gameplay, make use of the gamepad, like how the player with the gamepad can drop in enemies for the other player to kill, or maybe even a level editor to share custom-built levels online? You know what? I'm not sure about that stuff, just because we haven't heard about any level editors or anything like that. I'm not sure if they're going to give us that much control. I'm not sure if it's the level editor type of game. I don't think that there's going to be any asymmetrical type of gameplay. The one thing where I can see doing is basically, like, let's say you have extra items or you have extra weapons. You can basically, like, let's say you can take it from your gamepad and just, like, flick the weapon from your item screen out, like, and just throw it off your gamepad, and it'll drop into the real world onto the TV screen, and the person can also pick it up from there. I think that might be a safe bet to say that's what you can do. Or like if you have like a weapon and you want to share a weapon, just be able to quickly share your weapon, unlike Resident Evil, where you guys both have to like pop up, like Resident Evil 5, or you both have to pop open a menu. Hey, you want to share? Okay, let's just like all robotic. Maybe it's not going to be like that, where you can just quickly swap the weapon out and just fling it out there. So yeah, I think that's something that they could possibly do, or even like to where you can, like, let's say Impa's the royal guard and she's like the commander. Maybe you can even issue orders from the gamepad, or be able to basically give commands and stuff. And maybe if you have a couple people that's playing on the TV, hopefully there's more than one character. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to be 3 players, but you can issue commands from there. That might be kind of cool. If it's online multiplayer, you can mix it up there. So I don't think they're going to do anything crazy, but I think it's going to be something tame. But I think it'll be cool. But I don't know about the custom levels and all that. That might be a little too ambitious for this type of game. Cool idea, though. All right, next question comes from, oh man, you guys are killing me with, okay, Zeus, okay, it's not as bad as I think. Let me see here. Zeus High Score, okay, I thought it was really bad. It's not as bad as I thought it was. Zeus High Score asks, do you think that the look and location of Hyrule Warriors gives clues to what the next main Zelda game will be like? I'm guessing the art style will be dark, as it will be bright and vivid here. Also, the emphasis on Hyrule Field could also mean no Hyrule next. Yeah, you know what? You're right. There could definitely be hints. I mean, if you look at that art style, it's not quite cartoony, but it's not quite like gritty and mature. It's like somewhere in between there, and that's a great art style to have. I absolutely love the graphics, the detail, and I think the next Zelda game on Wii U is going to look a lot better than that because they don't have to worry about rendering a million characters on screen. So yeah, I think there's definitely going to be that. As far as no Hyrule Field or anything like that, I have no clue. It's just like you're just getting me hyped, man. Just like, oh god, the hype is off the level here. It's too much hype, man. I got to move on. I'm gonna get the next Zelda game here. All right, I like this guy. Is it Black Brother? Yeah, Black Brother. Black Brother 57AS. What are your thoughts on Microsoft's Attack of the Saints game on the DS? Oh my gosh, that gives me that gives me some great memories. Yes, I actually have the Attack of the Saints game on the DS. I put like 40 hours into that game. I think it's the best Dragon Ball Z game ever made. Monolith Soft knows how to make an RPG. That is such a good RPG. If you guys haven't played this game, go out and get this game. It might be hard to find, and it's expensive. If you get it at GameStop, it's almost $30. I mean, I think I spent $27 on it. Get this game called Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans. That is made by Monolith Soft, and it is a fantastic RPG with great graphics, fast gameplay, very good mechanics, active mechanics in there to where you can press like a button and do like block. Some of the overworld stuff and the story's kind of weak here and there. It's kind of easy with the story because I have to make up a lot of stuff. But overall, it is a very good combat-focused RPG. So pick that one up. I absolutely love that game, by the way. It's a very good RPG, very good. Best Dragon Ball Z game I've ever played. One of the best. It's right up there with Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Budokai Tenkaichi 2 was one of my favorite Dragon Ball Z games. Absolutely love Budokai Tenkaichi 2, and Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans is right up there with that. But, you know, Namco Bandai, or Bandai Namco, apparently Nintendo fans don't like Dragon Ball Z because they announced a new Dragon Ball Z game, and it's not coming to Wii U. Nintendo fans also don't like Naruto, so they announced new Naruto games, and those ones are coming to Xbox 360 and PS3, and not coming to Wii U. But apparently we like One Piece because we're getting One Piece Unlimited World Red. And we've been getting One Piece games for the DS and stuff, but there's no way we can get Dragon Ball Z or Naruto. So apparently Nintendo fans do not like Dragon Ball Z, and we don't like Naruto, but we like One Piece. I don't get it, but whatever. Anyway, the next question comes from Josh Harden. They have a custom level. Okay, great. They have custom levels as a Warrior Orochi 3 Hyper on Wii U. Okay, great. Yes, that's great. So yeah, maybe they do have a custom level editor. I just don't know if Nintendo's gonna want you messing with those levels. But hey, if they do a custom level editor, that's great. You know what I'm gonna have to do? I think I'm gonna go ahead and head over to GameStop and pick up Warriors Orochi 3 Hyper. I think I have to play this game now just to get myself acclimated because you guys are asking me a lot of stuff to do with this, and I think it'd be a disservice. I think I'm gonna go buy that. I'm gonna go buy that game, and I know it's pretty cheap. So I think I'm going to go pick it up and play it just so I can get a feel of how it is because I haven't played a Warriors game in a long time, and I don't remember. So, yeah, I need to pick – I think I'm going to go pick it up. Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you for that. Dragon Chi 26. How well do you think the gamepad will be used for Hyrule Warriors? Do you think they will experiment with it in preparation for Zelda U? Yeah, I think there's going to be some stuff in there. I think you're going to be able to switch items. You're going to be able to switch weapons. They might have some magic-based stuff that you can do using the touchscreen. I don't think it's going to be anything crazy, but I definitely think it's going to be something that's intuitive and it's going to be nice and it's going to be a nice thing to use. Plus, you're going to have off gamepad play. You're going to have co-op. Local co-op to where you're not doing split screen, so I think that's going to be really cool for a lot of people out there to play that and have that there. All right, next question comes from Dragon Chi 26. And one of the screenshots revealed for Hyrule Warriors, there's a main menu that has DLC grayed out. Yes, you're right, meaning that there's clearly going to be a feature added later. Your thoughts? My thoughts are positive. Warriors games, from my understanding, come with a bunch of content, and any extra content there is just going to be bonus to extend the game's replay value and stuff like that. So I'm really down for just as long as I get enough content in the game in the beginning, I'm really down for DLC, and just as long as it's not like super dumb DLC that should have been in the game from the very beginning. Just as long as I get enough content, like I don't want to see DLC like Mass Effect 3, the the Prothean DLC. Like, that's whack. That's like a main part of the game that should already be in there, and they force you to pay for it. I mean, luckily for me, I bought the collection edition anyway, so I mean, I got the DLC, but that sucks for people who just bought the standard edition. And like, that Prothean DLC was very important to the main storyline of the game, and that's a very important character, Javik. He's very important, and to charge people for that, that's just lame. So I don't want to see anything like that, like main characters in there that's like, you know, they exclude and say, oh, well, DLC, buy it if you want this $10. I don't want to see any of that, but I would like to see, like, you know, characters like that you can get, or stages after you beat the game, after you've unlocked the stuff, and say, hey, yeah, you want some more, hey, or you want this really cool costume, if they already give you unlocks, you can do that. So I'm buying the premium edition. If the premium edition comes to North America, I'm buying that one anyway, so I'm going to get all that good stuff, and if they offer more later, if I feel it's substantial, great, but I already know I'm going to get a ton of content because Nintendo's overlooking this, and I don't think I've ever played a Nintendo game where I said, you know what, I feel gypped with content. I mean, even like the crappy like Wii Music, from what I hear, that there's a lot of songs in there that has a lot of content in that game. So every game pretty much has a good enough content for what you pay for. You know, whether it's a 3DS game or whether it's a Wii U game, you always get that content that you're looking for. So I don't think there's going to be any issues there. All right. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going to put it up here. I'm messing up on people's names here. Lee Ung. Okay. My last name can be pronounced like Lee Ung. Okay, thank you. I'm going to say that. That's very easy. Thank you guys for not getting on me too hard about these names, because I know I'm butchering some of them. I'm really sorry. I butcher some of the medications names when I'm at work, too, so I'm really sorry about that. Communications is my strong point, but actually pronouncing them is not. But I'm very good at saying sorry and smiling and making sure that I try to do the best I can. I'm good at that, so thank you guys. So Lee Ung, that's what I'm going to say. Lee Ung, thank you, and I appreciate you making out to the live stream, man. You've been one of the long-time Player Essence users, and you've been very active on Facebook and on my website, so I really appreciate it, and I thank you for pushing my website and helping me out, man. You've been around for a while, so I really appreciate your insightful comments, too. He has a lot of good comments on Facebook, so thank you so much, Lee Young. All right, next is going to be from Josh Harden. If Hyrule Warriors has voice acting, which it usually does, if Hyrule Warriors has voice acting, which it usually does, do you believe Link will have a dialogue? No. I think other people will have voices, but Link will not. And that's just my personal opinion. All right. RPG Zelda is like Golden Sun. Which gold turn-based? Like, which RPG Zelda are you talking? Are you talking about? Okay. I mean, I'm not sure what you're talking about, but I guess, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about, like Legend of Zelda 2, that one? I don't like that game. That stupid one where I hate the Legend of Zelda 2. I don't want anything to be like that. All right, next question comes from Black Brother 578. Do you think that the era of the first-person shooter game is over, or do you think that do you think the genre will be even more oversaturated this gen? No. I don't think the era of the first-person shooter is over. We are getting into the nitty-gritty of the first-person shooter. We are getting into the limelight. Believe it or not, you saw the new Wolfenstein game just came out. I mean, a lot of people are really liking it. A lot of people are giving it good reviews. A lot of people are saying it's a good game. So, no. And it doesn't even have online multiplayer. So, no, I don't think that the first-person shooter is going to die out. I think that online features are only getting better. I think that people are taking advantage of these online features. Now you have 1080p graphics. You have Call of Duty 60 frames per second. You know, Call of Duty was a huge seller on the PS4, and I think the reason why the PS4 is even doing as well as it is because of Call of Duty. Without Call of Duty, the PS4 does not do as well as it's doing. No way it does as well as it's doing, because Call of Duty fans, I've had people come up to me and ask me, Francis, where's the best play? I wanna buy a new system. You know, whether it's my casual friends, I want a new system. Where is the best place to play Call of Duty? And I told them, do you care about DLC? They say, no, not really. I just want to play the game. I said, buy a PS4 and buy Call of Duty Ghosts. That's the best place you want to play COD. You know why? Because that's where the game is. It's built for the PS4. Has the best online play on PS4. Has well, if you want to pay for online, that is. It has 1080p graphics. It's the best on PS4, so just get it. And that's the reason why. Look at COD sales on PS4, like 3 million copies if you count digital. It's insane. It's like it's insane how many people are buying Call of Duty just to play, like, buying a PS4 just to play Call of Duty. You'll be surprised how many people only have Call of Duty on the PS4. So yeah, it's not going anywhere because when the next Call of Duty comes out, it's going to be best on PS4, and PS4 sales are going to skyrocket when Call of Duty Advanced Warfare comes out. It's just a fact. When all of these shooters are coming out and they're 1080p on PS4 or they're the best resolution on PS4, it's just going to make the genre more. I think it's just going to make the genre more popular. I think it's going to make it more popular just because of 1080p, because they can sell that gimmick. They can sell I don't know if 1080p is a gimmick, but they can sell that bullet point. You want to play games in 1080p and 60 frames per second, or you want to play games in 1080p? Buy a PS4. PS4 and 1080p. That's what they're going to do, and people are going to be like, 1080p PS4, yeah, and they're going to go up $399, and wait till there's a price drop with Call of Duty. It's only going to get bigger. It's only going to get bigger. So no, the era of the first-person shooter is not going anywhere. And to be honest, I don't care. I used to be like, oh well, shooters, but I don't care. I'm going to play the games that I like. People who like first-person shooters, have at it, have fun. But I'm playing Sonic Boom. I'm playing my RPGs. I'm playing Bayonetta. I'm playing this Hyrule Warriors. I'm playing those games, So people who like first-person shooters, have fun. But I mean, whatever, The era of the first-person shooter ain't going nowhere, man. It's not going anywhere. All right. Let's see here. And from Leung here. Warriors Orochi 3 Hyper is less than $20 on Amazon, and it boasts having over 130 playable characters. How many do you think Hyrule Warriors will have? I don't think it'll have anywhere near that many characters. I think Hyrule Warriors max will have maybe 10, minimum will have like 4 to 5. I don't think there's going to be 130 playable characters. I don't know. Can you do that? I mean, I know the Warriors games, those are based off of like old mythology and stuff, where they just make up characters. But I don't know. Does the Zelda franchise even have that many characters that you can pick from? I don't know if it does. And if it does, do you even want to play as that many extended characters? So I don't think it'll have anywhere near that much. I think maybe 10 maximum, maybe 20 if we're going to get real crazy, but nothing more than that. I don't think Anuma's going to let the game have that many. Like I said, and plus when you have that many characters, everybody feels so samey, and that's kind of how the Dragon Ball Z games are. Every character feels real samey in Dragon Ball Z games because there's so many. There's like 100-something characters in Dragon Ball Z. So no, I don't think there's going to be so many characters. I think there's a minimum 5, max 10, maybe. All right, next question comes from El Ryu. Make sure you play Warriors Orochi 3 Hyper on the harder difficulties. It's very strategy focused in how you progress through the level and manage the hordes. The generals are no joke. Yeah, when I play games, I always put games on the hardest difficulty available because in today's gaming, normal mode is easy mode, and hard mode is normal mode, and then the extra hard mode is the actual hard mode, in my opinion. In most games. Now, some games, yeah, the hard mode is hard mode, but I already play games on I always play games on the hardest difficulty available. For instance, like Bravely Default. Bravely Default, I put on hard mode. I'm not playing this game on normal because I already know when I play it on normal, I'm gonna die like 2 times. It's not gonna be challenging on the side quest. Nothing's gonna happen. I'm not gonna have to use the strategy because if it's too easy, you don't need to use strategy. You can just spam, your regular attack. But when you play games on harder difficulties, when you put it on the hard, it forces you to use the resources in the game. It forces you to actually not just hack and slash. It forces you to use those strategies, and it forces you to use your magic or use different abilities or make sure you take advantage of a character that might have a little bit more speed than agility. It forces you to do those things. So difficulty to me is very important. If a game does not have a difficulty setting or does not have a higher difficulty that I can play as from the beginning, I usually skip it. I will skip games to be honest, like Kirby. Kirby's one of those games where I might it's not high on my priority list because it doesn't have a difficulty setting. And I know it progressively gets harder, but I don't want that. I want games to where I can use strategy and I have tools to work with from the very beginning or very close to the beginning of it, and that's why I love RPGs, and that's why I play games on the hardest difficulty. So trust me, yeah, I'm going to actually buy the Warriors game as soon as I get off of this podcast. I actually have to buy a mic for E3, and I have to buy a new battery, so I'm actually going to go and buy that. I got some Amazon gift cards, so I'm going to go buy all that as soon as this is done. So thanks for that tip, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are probably going to go out there and buy people people watching are probably going to go out there and buy Warriors Orochi 3 too, just so you can get a feel of how a Hyrule Warriors might be. Excuse me. Next, we have Black Brother 578. What is your opinion on the Mega Man Battle Network and Share Force series? It's not very good, so I'll just leave it at that. I don't really care about those series much. Next comes from Dragon Chi 26. I'm not sure if you have covered this in another stream, but do you think Hyrule Warriors will be canon to the Zelda universe? No, I haven't covered this. Yes, I think it'll be canon. I think it'll be something to where it can fit somewhere in the timeline, just like a Link Between Worlds and just like some of the other games that have recently came out. So yeah, I think it's going to be canon. All right, so I think that pretty much ends the questions here. And guys, I don't know if you heard, but my stomach actually growled a couple of times after that. I'm actually really hungry, so I'm definitely going to stop with the questions here, and I'm going to go get something to eat. Look forward to the website. If you haven't checked out Player Essence, make sure you do. Check out the description below. You'll have links to some of the stuff that I talked about. You'll see all sorts of stuff on Hyrule Warriors. And remember, look forward to more coverage on Hyrule Warriors. Trust me, guys, there's going to be plenty of it. I've been covering this game like crazy. I uploaded, or I put some more stuff. Look forward to my own personal stuff that I'm going to be doing on Hyrule Warriors as far as talking about it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to announce like my top 5, or I'm going to do a video like my top 5 things I want to see in Hyrule Warriors, or top 10 things I want to see in Hyrule Warriors. So look forward to that. But it seems like I have one more question here, and I guess I'll get to that. How about a Pikmin-themed first-person shooter? Okay, he's just saying something. How about a Pikmin-themed first-person shooter where instead of firing guns, you chuck the little guys at each other? Come on, no, make it my dream. Yeah, that's not happening. I don't think it is, at least. But yeah, I'm basically done here, guys. So I'm gonna go get something to eat. I'm going to definitely pick up Warriors Orochi Hyper 3. I'm going to check that out. Less than $20 on Amazon. You guys got it. Look forward to my impressions on that game, and look forward to more content on PlayerEssence.com on all things Hyrule Warriors and all things Nintendo gaming. And plus, here and there, we got PS3, Xbox 360, PS4, and Xbox One too. But we got plenty of Nintendo stuff for you Nintendo fans that support my site on a daily basis. So look forward to Player Essence for that. All right, guys. So that basically wraps it up, and we will see you guys for the next one. Peace.